So we've got Lilith, obviously. Triple Darkfire Sacrifice. Duh. This leads to all your broken openings. Turn 2 Conjurers, turn 2 Archons, all the good stuff. 2 Grasp of Agony. This is so you don't get rolled over by people who go turn 1 double 2-drop when they're going second. So it's especially useful against Lionheart because it clears out Windblade Adepts and stuff. Also really useful against Juggernaut. Sphere of Darkness, it's a cantrip, it triggers all your spell synergy, it helps you dig, it pings things, perfect. Celebrant, it's ramp. There aren't very many 2-drops you really want in this deck. Like the 2-drop Arcanists are okay, I guess Aethermaster's probably a good one. I like this for letting you, because this deck has quite a high curve, I like this for letting you play all the 5-drops a bit earlier, you know, play the early Archons and that sort of thing. Cryptographer it's a spell. It's Darkfire Sacrifice fodder, and it's board presence. You know, you get 4 minions for 4 power over 3 minions for 1 card. So it has a lot of nice synergy with various different aspects of the deck, and it's really nice to just run out on the first turn. Demonic Lure, nothing to see here, great removal. Punish, likewise. There's only 2 instead of 3 because it's a bit awkward in this deck, but I was running 1, and then I thought, you know, probably should put in another one with all these Flash Juggernauts potentially running around. Nightsaw Assassin, this is basically a tech slot. It's there because I was trying to smooth out the curve slightly, and it's both a removal spell and Darkfire Sacrifice fodder. So you can kill something and set up a big play for next turn. Ritual Banishing is Ritual Banishing. If I was playing a more traditional Swarm list, I'd have 3, but I don't always have Wraithlings to spare. Breath of the Unborn is a necessary evil at the moment, but it's also really good with all these high toughness Arcanists that you can generate. The deck doesn't run Owlbeast Sage, but you can get them off Blue Conjurer. Night Shroud, this is kind of your combo piece. It also helps keep you alive, chip damages off artifacts. The card's actually okay. No Illusionist even though you have Night Shroud. No, this is a Death Knell deck first and foremost. That was the plan anyway. Like, you could totally build this with Prismatic Illusionist in and it would be good. Like, there's loads of things you could play. 1 Kaleno. The deck doesn't run very much healing just because of slots. Night Shroud is sometimes enough, but for when it's not, there's a Kaleno. Spelljammer digs. She smooths your curve. She's a nice 4-drop. Fights for the board. Card is great. Blue Conjurer, this guy's the meat. This guy is why this deck works so well. Especially because of Darkfire Sacrifice. But it's really good whenever you have 0 or 1 mana spells or the ability to play it early. So I think a lot of people pass this card over initially. Like, it looks janky, right? It looks like, you know, bonkers Gauntlet Rare. But actually it's really, really, really good. Because it gets you minions that synergize with your win condition, synergize with your mid-game plan, like, you know, playing Night Shroud, and also it gives you card advantage that affects the board because it makes minions. And you have lots of spells, so you automatically synergize with anything it generates. It's just really, really, really good. This card is actually fantastic. Nether Summoning, it's a value play, it's great with Ritual Banishing, and it helps with Night Shroud. So my original idea for this deck was like, oh, I could play Nether Summonings in my Night Shroud Death Knell combo, and it kind of developed from there. Archon, this guy is amazing. It's huge, it comes back off Death Knell, you can cheat it out early, it disrupts your opponent, makes them play awkwardly. No one likes playing against this. And finally, Death Knell is our big bomb that lets us really go over the top. Any reason for Celebrant over Mana Forger? Yes. So my spells are cheap. My minions are expensive. It is sometimes useful, as I did in the previous game, to just be able to run out things like Blue Conjurer on curve, or, you know, ahead of curve with Celebrant, rather than rather than trying to wait and hold on to play spells with them. Celebrant's also nice because it doesn't die on turn 1 very easily, and one of the other things, sorry, I neglected to mention this earlier because I forgot. One of the things I did when I built this deck is I deliberately didn't include small Arcanists. You can still play them if you get them off Conjurer, but one thing you'll notice about this is, like, when you play Death Knell, all we have is big stuff, right? We've got Night Shrouds, which kill your opponent, and then 5 and 6 drops, and more Death Knells. And of course you can pick and choose whichever of the things that Blue Conjurer generates that you play, and you can generate them at your own pace. So if you try and curve out with Arcanists, it weakens your Death Knell, whereas once you're getting value off Blue Conjurer, you can just replace anything small, knowing that the deck's early game is still reliable. Like, you can play these and not be like, oh, it pollutes my Death Knell later. So the overall idea is not to play Arcanist, slow down the curve, even though they would synergize well with the spells, you know, like Mana Forger into Sphere of Darkness is like, but just because you can make your Death Knell actually weaker that way, so the deck overall becomes less strong because you're putting in these synergistic early game minions. But I don't know, I haven't tested that version. This is just basically like the first thing I built, tweaked a bit. How does Night Shroud work with Death Knell? It has Bond rather than Opening Gambit, and the way Bond is coded is that it works regardless of whether the minion was cheated into play or cast from your hand. So you also trigger it off Nether Summoning, which is really nice. Yeah, this deck is like infinitely sweet. I would love to make a tournament viable version. I don't know if this is that or if this is close to that. It's a bit different from what might be the straight down the line deck where you like click on all the Arcanists, click on Death Knell, season with removal. We're deliberately playing this like a big, like grindy, value-y, like big mid-range deck, thanks to Blue Conjurer, and it works really well. Like the deck is essentially a Blue Conjurer deck more than anything else, which I didn't realize until I started playing it and realized how strong this card was and how it glued the deck together so well. One thing I might do actually is try and find space for a third Archon. The card is so good that trying to get those early Archons seems quite a good idea. Does it do damage from Death Knell and all the other Arcanists summoned at the same time? Yes. Strictly what happens is it summons them in an order, which I am led to believe is random. So the Death Knell will basically pick 7 random Arcanists in a row, or however many it can fit, random Arcanists in a row from the pool of ones that have died. If there's more than 7 that have died, and it does it in a random order. I'm short an Archon. Should I swap it out for anything? Yeah, that should be fine. What other big Arcanists are there? Mindwarper's so far been pretty good. Everyone's playing spells right now. The Scientist is not great. Eclipse, that's a good one. Trinity Wing if you want more cards. Owl-based Sage is awesome. Yeah, loads of good options. Yeah, Eclipse is a good one if you have it. Owl-based Sage is a rare and is filth. Yeah, I like Eclipse. Eclipse is a funny card. Another thing that you could put in this deck, I mean, it doesn't really work with these 2-drops, but you know, you could consider Keeper of the Veil. I think Nether Summoning is better, but you could build like a Keeper style version where you just play these big minions, and if your opponent kills one, you just play another one. And the rest of the deck is like, you know, you make tokens, you play Wraithling Swarm and Cryptographer. Oh, Cryptographer doesn't quite work, does it? Are there any other cheap spells that just make tokens? Horn of the Forsaken, I guess. Not amazing. Inkhorn Gaze. It's kind of it, but that's maybe enough with all the removal and Spectral Blade and stuff. You could actually get away with that. Might be an interesting build as well. I have an Abyss Daily and wasn't sure what I wanted in there. Yeah, try this. It's, again, seriously one of the most fun decks I've ever played. It's so hilarious. Right, let's get back to this this Raver deck.